Hey, greetings and salutations, Internet, fans of podcasts, and anyone that appreciates adult beverage. My name is Lee. Welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Curveballs. We're running a little shallow today, like we were last weekend because I wasn't there, and Jimmy had things that he was obligated to do, so he's not with us yet. Hopefully, he can join us. But what we like to do here on Cocktails and Curveballs is always start off with a shout out and mad appreciation to all of our men and women serving in our military, past and present, foreign and domestic. Also to our first responders, the people that are there for us in a pinch and really don't get enough thanks. So thank you to you guys as always. Okay, I kind of want to start off today, man. There's a lot going on. Finally, some more exciting things, that we can get into. I kind of want to know first, though. I mean, I want to know what everybody's drinking. I found one that you can't buy where I live. So a friend of mine had one of his friends go back out east. It's called Yingling. And this is the season, boys. That's their Oktoberfest. Okay. Yingling is actually the oldest brewery in the country. It was the first established brewery over in Pennsylvania, literally. And
Damn.
you can't buy this in my neck of the woods, but he was fortunate enough. He went out east, found some, and brought it back. And so but it's a Marzen, and Marzen, if anyone is curious, a
How
Marzen
is it?
style. Marzen it's actually very smooth. This is the last one. I drank all the rest of them. But
Nice.
Marzen just is German for March. So basically, they brew it. It's a lager style, very malty, man, and very good. And they sit on it until the fall.
Oh
So, I
wow.
mean, yeah, the only time you can have a true Mars in Oktoberfest is if you go to Munich, Germany for Oktoberfest. But it's actually really tasty, man. And if you're in the neck of the woods where you can find it, definitely dial up some Yingling and support the oldest brewery in the country. What are you guys drinking?
Well, today I got my favorite in a chilled glass. I got a little bit of mango cart.
Oh, you
Yes, sir.
found some.
From Golden Road. Yep. Man, I can drink this shit till the cows come home, man. Good stuff. Mango cart, man. Super drinkable. Really addictive. Good
Right on,
stuff.
right on. What about you, T?
I'm on these
Let me
blue
get
bush lights now.
Oh yeah.
no more corn cans.
No,
Shocker.
you guys just missed me slug down a coffee. I'm running on fumes here, fellas. I've got about 3 hours of sleep in me.
Oh, geez, you've been getting called out for work.
Yeah, been working.
Oh shit. Well, that sucks.
Making that
But
money.
hey,
But I'm here
fellas,
now. But I'm here now and I'm
jump.
happy about it.
Nice. So jump right in, boys. I mean, yesterday was a huge day. College football opening. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I know one of you
Yeah.
guys are going to jump on the big topic.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like the smorgasbord was Colorado. All the hype around Colorado, especially how that game unfolded. Um, Dion, I mean, like he said in the post game, he kept receipts. I feel like the entire world, and I am probably guilty of it myself, was wagging their finger at him, saying, "Come on, man, you guys won one game last year." He brought over. I mean, what they said he had 2/3 of his of a player's turnover. I mean, just came in
Well,
and just
he walked in and basically told the
said,
team
"Yeah, yeah, just
into the
pack,
transfer portal,
yeah,
I'm
pack your
bringing my
shit.
luggage with
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Anybody who's here, go ahead and put your name on the transfer portal because you won't be starting." I mean, just something
He was
that
going to pull scholarships, I think, and just
I don't
completely
think.
clean
I mean,
house.
and we could do the research, but I don't think. I mean, this is like historical. Nothing like this has ever never transpired. And for him to, granted, this is a watered down TCU version of last year. That's not to say they're not a good team. They are still a very dangerous team. I think they'll have still a pretty solid year. But they lost a lot of talent to the NFL. No, that's no secret. They still played in their home field for Colorado, coming off a one-win season, to go in there and win that game like that. Had four receivers over 100 yards. Quarterback Shadir Sanders threw up a 500-yard game, four
5'10". He set a
touchdowns.
school record, 510 yards.
Yeah, Travis Hunter. I mean, huge day. Played both sides of the ball. One's got to think he can't keep that up. You can't do that the whole year. But Colorado, they got Nebraska next week. I think that's good. They're going to take them out to the woodshed. Wow, pretty impressive. Big, high five to Dion, man. He's got that
Crazy,
program.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's the belief that those kids must have in Deion Sanders.
And
Right,
it's only going to get worse, right, Ty? It's
dude,
only like
oh my God, dude! If
how
they
many
keep
kids?
that rolling,
Really quick, I want to keep getting your opinion, but really quick, you tell me how many kids, like maybe half the locker room had bought in, half were like, wait and see. How about now? How about now?
yeah, I think that snowball just keeps rolling downhill, right?
Jesus, it's going to be just huge.
Well, and the biggest
Well,
one,
the Buffs
and
have been historically not good of recent times.
No,
the last time they
no.
beat a top 20 team was 2002. Boys, that's 21 years ago.
Right.
And they just knocked out 17. So,
Well,
in their house. It was
but having
clear,
Dion, it's all Dion Sanders.
Oh, it
right?
is absolutely.
That Travis Hunter kid was like the consensus #1 high school player 2 years ago, and he went to Jackson State.
And he had offers, big offers. And
he could have went.
to
He
Dion.
could have went anywhere. The NIL money that's getting thrown around, he could have gone anywhere.
Right.
And he chose Dion Sanders. He didn't choose the school. He didn't choose the school. He's still, I mean, yes, he chose the school, right? He chose Jackson State and he chose Colorado now, but he chose Dion Sanders.
Ty, can I ask you a question? Because I don't know the answer. Maybe you do, Lee. He played cornerback and wide receiver the entire first half and most of the second half. What did you say, Lee? 135 snaps, is that right?
130 plays. He was on the field for
130 plays. Okay. So do you know what's his primary position? Because he's going to have one. I mean, is it cornerback? Or because if it's cornerback, it makes sense that he would want to go play for possibly the best cornerback,
the greatest corner that's ever played.
Right.
I think that's his primary, but his talent level. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. When you have a player that goes both ways, okay. So my son Brandon, when he was in high school, he never left the field. He played linebacker on defense. He was a receiver or a tight end on offense. He was the punter. The only time he wasn't on the field was kickoffs and field goals. I mean, so watching the amount of sweat that kid lost in a game because he never left. But at this level, exactly. But at this level, for him to do this, how many years has it been since anyone's done that? Had, what was it, 8 receptions, or at least 8? He had 10 and 100 yards, and then also an interception on defense. Hasn't happened in God knows how many years. I had the number, but it's been a minute.
Shut down. And he's a shutdown corner on defense. And that fourth quarter, I mean, what impresses me most about Travis Hunter is not that only that he played that many snaps, but it was Texas. It was hot. It was hot out there.
Yeah.
That was not a meaningless, let's run this up. That was from start to finish. That was a hell of a game. That was the best. I mean, that was a phenomenal game, but he just, every big play that was getting made, there's Travis Hunter again.
What about the two, did you see the 2 pass plays that his quarterback basically overthrew him? And he was wide open. So granted, I think he finished with something. Don't quote me. I think maybe 110 yards receiving, which
something like that.
That's impressive. It was impressive as hell. But had he not been overthrown on those other 2 pass plays, he'd been close to 200 yards receiving.
But okay, I mean, yes, the guy's a phenomenal talent, right? I mean, like a skill position guy but I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see the interception he made? Full Superman layout, incredible. But
really?
but just a couple plays before that, he saved. He ran from the other side of the field, 50, 60 yards downfield, and tackled the TCU running back, who had broke it for a long run. Was gonna walk in. Travis Hunter comes flying up, catches him, tackles him, and then makes that interception to end their drive. Like,
and that tells you
the guy is an absolute football player. Like, that guy. It's not just about interceptions and touchdowns. Like, to see that kind of effort for a guy like that to come make that tackle, you're like, dude, no, this guy's out there just to play ball.
And to be clear, this is how he's playing in game 1 under Dion. So what's this kid going to be like 6 games in, 7 games in, maybe
And
next year under
yeah,
Deion.
dude, he's a true
he's just-
sophomore, right?
So
Like,
he's
he was
only
a
going
true
to get
freshman
better.
last year.
He's only going to get better under Deion Sanders.
Well, but that's the thing, though. That's why I think why he's followed him. I know Dion has known this kid since he was like 4 years old, is what I heard. But
He
the
said he
reality
was
is,
his son, and in the post game, he was like, "Yeah, my 2 sons here."
Mhm.
And he was talking about
literally,
Travis
I
Hunter
think,
and Shakur.
yeah, and Shador. I mean,
Shador, sorry.
but if you
Yes,
think
Shador.
about,
Shador.
if you think about this kid going both ways in college, boys. I mean, we're these hits. I saw some hits yesterday. The sound, even off of a television, you were like, oh man, you know that there's some nasty ass shit going on there. The hits were terrible, but for someone that is that talented, that you know is going to be a top draft pick someday in the NFL, stays healthy. Come on, let's be real. He will. Right. And the coach is going to let him go both ways. I mean, it's a little bit risky. I know these kids
in college especially, though, there's a lot of people that go both ways.
But I mean, feasibly though? I mean, realistically speaking, do you
isn't that what college is all about?
Well, evidently, that was not my college.
That's why I just chose to step right over all of that. I mean, feasibly speaking, though, do you foresee him doing this every game? I mean, that's
what I'm getting at, though. I mean, you run a whole season, and I'm sorry. Yes, they're going to be the Buffs are going to be down in Boulder. Tough. They're probably ecstatic.
It's tough. They don't have the depth, right? Colorado doesn't have the depth.
No.
But can he do this game in and game out through an entire season? I don't see it. I think at some point he's going to have to go primary, which I believe is cornerback.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about your coach being one of the best ever at that position. Why wouldn't you follow him?
And here's the biggest reason why, Lee. So they had 4 receivers go over 100 yards. Do you really need him? Do you really need him at wideout?
Dude, he made a bunch of big plays in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, that kid was on offensively. Every time they needed a first down.
I mean, also, Pat, make no mistake, this game was close. This was not a blowout. So you want every weapon at your disposal because you're trying to go into Fort Worth and beat number 17 TCU. You want to have all your weapons at your disposal.
Correct. And I think that's more a reflection of the defense than it is anything. But what I'm saying is it's not like Travis Hunter had 140 yards receiving and 3 other receivers had 50 and 60. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even the leading receiver. There was a receiver that had 160 yards. I mean, I
think they're running. I think it was their running back, actually.
It was the running back.
Yeah. I guess my point is that they obviously have a lot of ability on offense. I think they obviously need to tighten up on defense. But you can also say that they played a tough team. So they're not going to – there's a decent chance that they're not going to go up against a TCU every week. I just don't think – it's going to be a travesty if he ends up getting injured because he's playing wide out and gets laid out by his safety. That's all I'm saying.
We have been invaded, Patrick. We have been invaded.
Hey, how's it going, Trevor?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, Trevor, man. We're glad to have you. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit of surprise for anybody that's watching our full episode here. But Trevor Heilman, one of the only people that reached out, really to us at all. So there you are, dude.
Happy to be 5th guy in the League of 5. I'm down, man. Anytime.
Yeah, 5th guy in the League of 5.
Well,
and today you're our 4th.
Yeah, because Jimmy got called out to work, and I feel like is this an upgrade? I mean, I'm not saying that Jim, but come on.
Well, looks wise, look at this guy. Yeah, it's a fucking upgrade.
Listen,
no knock to Jim, but I'm feeling a little younger, maybe a little more spry. Mountains are still blue, though. I'll stick with him and at least keep that going.
Nice. What's Trevor drinking?
Is that what you're drinking?
Coors Light. Just keeping it simple.
Oh. That's nice. Okay. That's all right, man. Well, we're kind of branched out a little bit. Tyler makes the bad boy that he is.
Coors Light makes lots of appearances on this show.
Yeah, big time. Question, Trevor. Welcome, by the way. I appreciate you giving us some time for our 5 for 5. But I mean, did you see something anywhere, sports-wise, drinking-wise? I don't care, that really intrigued you over the weekend? I mean, we had a big day yesterday, man. Holy hell. We were just talking about Colorado, the Buffs.
I was just going to say, Coach Prime, man, anything that dude touches, gold.
Turns to gold, right?
It's insane. I'm like, and I know that a lot of people kind of hopped on. They're like, nah, we'll doubt this. Like, that's a huge overhaul for Colorado. But holy Jesus. They showed up 500 yards from Colorado. Like,
I know it.
I was
580. Yeah.
They were 20-point dogs in that game going into that game yesterday.
20.5 down.
I was like, that is a insult. I
Jesus.
felt like I mean, I didn't think that they would necessarily be phenomenal by any means. They're as good as they were, but I was like, a 20-point underdog? Like, that seems TCU's not that good anymore. Like, I mean, they lost a lot of their guys, so that kind of blew my mind a little bit. But if I had to pick something outside of them, though, like, first of all, I'm just gonna say it, and it hurts to say, I'm a Nebraska fan. I'm a really big Husker fan.
So next week, huh?
And God damn, it hurts watching them. So losing to in Minnesota and then knowing how good that Colorado is going to be is
Matt Rule, though, right?
Matt
Rule. That's a big time hire from Nebraska.
I'm actually really stoked.
I think, right?
Yeah, he's a solid college coach. I don't think that there's any doubt about that. I think people knock him for his pro stuff, but I think he'll be nothing but good for him. But Matt Rule had a tough go in the pros, though, going to Carolina, and they were tough. I mean, like, Carolina, for their roster, I thought they played pretty tough under Matt Rule. I think he's gotten a lot of, like, flack for not having the best records, but I think he jumps into some not so great situations. I mean, he's doing it again, jumping in Nebraska. I don't think the expectations are too high for him here as they maybe were in the pros, but no, I'm excited to have him on. I think he was a great,
and that's a big time hire.
It's time for Nebraska to I mean, Nebraska is a good football school, man. I mean, they've been kind of, absent from the power football schools for a while now. It's time for them to I'm a big Hurricanes fan, so they've been kind of sucking too. But it's just seems like college football is better when Nebraska, Miami, Florida, all these other schools are competitive, and they just haven't been for several years.
Yeah,
now.
not just fucking Alabama,
right.
Running roughshod over everybody.
Trevor, you're Nebraska, you're a Cornhusker guy. Did you see how many people came out to their ladies volleyball game?
Bro,
Nebraska reminded me of that.
That blew my mind. Yeah, so it was the biggest attendance for any women's sporting event in history, which was that's insane. Which I knew that Nebraska's volleyball team was, like, really, like, it's a big deal. Like, my stepdad's from Nebraska, and so he's gone back there and watched them. He's like, Lincoln football is nuts. Lincoln volleyball is insane. He's like, there's, like, a whole different level of, like, commitment to that. And I thought that was the coolest thing.
That's
crazy.
Amazing.
I
saw that too.
Pushing 100,000 people, right? It was,
and that was
96.
That was like a record that they set the record, right? For that.
Yeah.
That's insane to me to watch volleyball. I mean,
I know.
Usually I'm drunk on a beach and I can barely get the ball over the net. So, I mean, good on them, man. If that program is good, good on them, man. And hell, it would be kind of cool to go see, even if you're not necessarily a huge volleyball fan, that kind of atmosphere. It's like a Super Bowl game.
My sister just finished up law school there, and she got to go to one game, and she's like, getting tickets to that game was, I mean, obviously it's harder for volleyball because it's a smaller stadium. She's like, trying to get in, and, like, you have to have, like, some hookups to, like, make it to a volleyball.
Oh yeah,
no shit,
it's crazy. So no,
they were saying some of those tickets were going for like $400.
That is like bananas to me. I don't even understand that.
It's wild. It was very wild.
No, that's insane though. There's nothing wrong with that. But being a Husker fan, so Pat and I, we tend to be we got our Miami ties.
They rolled Miami, Ohio. They rolled Miami, Ohio yesterday, but they typically start out 2-0 and then lose 7 in a row. So
exactly. Well, see, but my start was when they had a lot of thugs and felons,
early 90s, right?
And just late 80s, early 90s, man, and just brutalized people. That's when I became a fan. It had nothing to do that I was a Dolphins
And you want to talk about a
oh
team?
My God, these guys are crazy.
You want to talk about a team of felons, man? Good God! I mean, that was just
kidding.
That team was just.
And then a lot of them,
some people would say maybe
millions of dollars.
Some people would say maybe that was Murderers Row.
And maybe, I mean, that's like you.
Some people would say that. Some people would say that. I don't say that.
it wouldn't be an unjustified comment. That's all I'm saying. Like,
That's
you
fair.
can understand, you
That's
can
completely
sympathize
fair.
with that, storyline. Yeah.
No, but you got to admit, that's back Jimmy Johnson. That's where he made his mark. And back in those days, I'm telling you, man, it was just fun to watch him because you knew somebody was going to get destroyed and there was going to be flags and penalties like you've
But the
never
names
seen.
on that squad, though, man, I mean, just the Irvin and Russell, Maryland, and just go down the line. They just had so much talent on that team, man.
Well, shoot, I got a really coolest sporting event I've ever been to. We got to go to the 2000 Rose Bowl when Nebraska played the U, and we lost, obviously, because they were the fucking best football team in college football. But I looked back at the roster that you guys had during that year. I was like, what? Why is Sean Taylor a backup? Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my God. Like, yeah. So
They were kind of like, at that time, it was kind of like the Alabama of today. I mean, everybody wanted to go there because they won.
But
And
Nebraska
it was fun. And it was South
remember,
Beach, baby. And they just literally, these guys, especially if you're a little bit on the darker side of the law, I mean, and you get away with it, and maybe your entourage is a little bit
I don't think Lee, I don't think you can say that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can.
I don't. We might need to bleep that.
Though Nebraska was really good.
Someone might run with on the darker side of the law. How many NFL players get arrested?
Oh, doubled down.
There it is.
Okay, no,
I didn't call out any names, Tyler. I didn't call out a single name. I just
at the wrong time, guys. This is bad.
There was a bowl game with Nebraska where it went into like triple overtime. And I can't remember. I almost want to say that Nebraska won that game. It was a huge game between Nebraska and the Hurricanes during that stint. I think it was triple overtime. I want to say Nebraska won that game. I mean, it went to overtime, and that was when you score and the other team gets the ball and they try to score and they just kept scoring. And finally,
was Taylor Martinez still the quarterback in 2000? Because I think what is he at 9? He played 9 years at Nebraska.
It's like been a weird business because he played forever, but then there was another Taylor Martinez.
There was another one, right?
But I think back in 2000,
9 years, is that the Van Wilder approach?
Dude, he was there forever. Actually, was that Eric Crouch?
Yeah, in 2000. Yeah, I was still Crouch.
Oh yeah, he was good. He was really good.
Crouch was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he'd have a better NFL career. It
sounds like they tried to make him into a wide receiver. He was too small.
Yeah.
I think,
right.
Which maybe now, maybe he wasn't, but I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, does he make the list of guys that were ahead of his time?
Probably. Yeah.
Reggie Bush, Eric Crouch, and Reggie Bush.
I think so.
That's it. It's a 2-person list. Dan Marino. Yeah, there's 3.
Yep.
Dan Marino's like 6'5", wasn't he? He was a big dude.
Yeah, 6'4".
Well, yeah, but he was ahead of his time.
Oh, right. I see. Yeah.
They just never got. Yeah, Crouch just.
I'm still waiting for the but he never won a Super Bowl comment.
Oh, I never won a Super Bowl.
I think that was more that was a more situation of the team he was on than what he brought to the table. I think there's a lot of teams he could have played for that he absolutely would have won a ring.
Okay, Pat. So I had to go to another beer here. You can find this local. Jeremiah Johnson. This is number 2. Okay, but it's their Citra IPA. Super smooth, man. That's like 6.5. I feel like if I can have about 4 more of these, I won't be able to form a sentence like our president.
Hey, can I ask? I don't know if you guys have any of you guys seen. It's all over Sports Center. But there was a play by Ramon Laureano last night. They played, I believe it was the Texas Rangers. Tyler Stevenson roped a ball to the wall, and Ramon Laureano caught it on one hop and threw him out by a foot at second base. Just an absolute laser beam to second. Just going to ask you guys, what are some of it was an impressive throw. One of the commentators said it was the best throw he's ever seen by an outfielder. You guys have like a memory of a really good throw from an outfielder that you just can't believe that the gun, like that they were able to throw that guy out? I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that. What about you, Tess? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Trevor, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
Cespedes, I can't remember who they were playing, man, but it was a shot to left field. It kind of ricocheted off the wall a little bit. And it was like, it was almost like a situation where he was like just kind of casually jogging just because he knew. And it was a throw
Giannis Cespedes. Yeah.
like right to home
Oh,
plate.
that dude's got a hose, man.
Cannon.
That was a cannon.
See,
He
and that's the
dropped
thing,
it,
Pat,
right? He dropped it. He dropped
Yeah.
it and then picked it up and fucking launched it. No hop, right?
Still
That's what
laser.
you're talking.
Hey, that was
That's
from
how
left
I
field.
see it in my head. Is that what
Wasn't
you're
that from
talking about?
left
Same
field?
one.
Yeah, left field. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a rocket.
Well, see,
How about
and
you,
Pat,
Lee?
you call out a player. My brain don't work like that when I'm watching baseball.
So,
Like
yeah.
I mentioned this before. I used to love, and it's not that I'm a Mariners fan, but I used to love watching Ichiro. That dude was not
There
huge.
you go.
He was not huge, man. He's smaller in stature, and he had a cannon from the outfield.
Right.
And I watched him throw people out. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And why did he spend that much time in Japan when he could have came here a lot sooner and be a billionaire by now? You know what I mean? Players like that. Giannis Cespedes had a
big
cannon
one
too.
was his rookie year, right? The throw against Oakland to third is like that's
Yeah.
like stamped. That's
Yeah.
like stamped as being Ichiro's like. That's his.
But
That
he
was
made
like
a
his.
few of
That
those.
was like his. Oh fuck, Ichiro's here in the league. That was like the because that was
But
very
he-
early on in the season, and I
Tyler,
remember
he
being
actually
young,
had-
going, "Oh,
Yeah, he actually had a few of those. The one that I
oh yeah,
and
tons."
again, we're talking about the Mariners, right? Jay Buhner. I don't know if you guys haven't seen
Bones.
this one, man. Probably the most impressive one was when Jay Buhner threw out Fernando Vina at third base on a line, and Fernando Vina was one of the fastest dudes in the league. So keep that in mind. And threw him out by 3 feet. And the most impressive part, it'd be one thing if his back was to the right. He played right field. If his back was to the right field wall, but he was in foul territory, way deep down the right field line. So he had to like throw it at an insane angle and still threw him out by 3 feet. And if anybody doesn't know anything about Jay Buhner, man, go back and look. That dude, you want to talk about maybe one of the most impressive arms from the outfield of all time. That dude had a cannon. And then they swiftly just go right into the Ichiro era. Isn't that something? A team goes from Jay Buhner to Ichiro, man. Damn.
Well, Bones was how was Bones? I know he was a good hitter, but was he a
Tell him the
average? Did he
Bone
hit for
sent
average?
you.
But literally, did he hit for average? Well, I
Jay
mean, did he
Buhner?
have a higher average? Jay Buhner as a batter. I remember
I
they
know
called
there's
him
a
Bones.
couple
I
years
remember that.
I don't
era
think he had
of
a
the
high
Mariners.
average. I think he was right around right one, 260, 270 maybe. But there was a
That's
few
kind of
years.
what I thought, but
I think he hit 30
Right.
bombs. I mean, he hit a lot of home runs.
he had some power
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
He had power for sure.
What about
No, right
Vladimir Guerrero Sr.?
It's all seen. Oh, cannon.
Absolute rocket
And-
of a fucking right arm. The one that
And
stands
his
out to
son
me, I
should
think
thank him every day.
the ball gets hit over his head, bounces off the wall. He's standing on the fucking track, no hops it to home, hoses the guy at the plate. That's the one that stands out to me. That you're like, holy shit, like that's unreal. Just bound, you know what I mean? I think he throws it from the track, and just picks it up, just fucking picks it up, no crow hop, and just rips it all the way in.
And there was
like,
times
dude,
he didn't even step
unreal
and throw.
arm talent.
There was
Jay
times that
Bruce
I saw
is
him
another
do
one.
that, where he stood up and he didn't even do a full stride to throw. He just kind of looked like he just whipped it, and it was just on a dime. And you're like,
it's just amazing.
how the
man.
hell does that happen, man?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we got young players now that are throwing like that, and it's holy crap. I mean,
hey, Lee, who was that guy? I know you guys. I hope you guys have heard about this. That pitcher. And I don't even think I think he got suspended by the major leagues, but super hot hit on the mound. I think it was just a couple years ago from the pitcher's mound. He got pissed off at a call or something, home plate umpire, and threw the ball over the center field wall from the pitcher's
Trevor
mound.
Bauer, right?
Jesus,
Trevor
Bauer. Oh my God. Oh, dude. How far is that?
Stepped off the back of the mound, right, and just fucking whipped it over the fence.
Oh my God, what is that? I mean, that's got to be 350. I mean, that's a ways, man. Good God.
Yeah, well, just look at anymore, right? Every home run that's hit, every hit anymore is like they tell you what the exit velo is, what the degree is, and you're like, he just turned around because he was pissed and threw it
over the center field wall.
Threw it 370, and like
Dude,
you're like, okay, he had to have thrown it pretty fucking hard.
I don't even understand what that means. You tell me somebody threw a ball from the pitcher's mound over the center field wall. Good.
Yeah.
God.
I hate to say it though. I
I've seen
actually
people,
love
over the
pictures.
center
Oh,
field
Trevor's
wall.
going to do it.
That's
Trevor's
fucking
warming the
funny.
arm up.
No,
Look
I'm hurt. That just hurt me thinking about it, man.
Yeah. Trevor, is there
You know what's
anything?
funny,
What do you
though?
want to get into, man? Trevor. This is your show.
Oh shoot, no.
What's
no,
your take on going both ways in college?
Oh, dude. So I think I'm trying to think.
No,
of like,
actually, you know what? I know what your take is on going both ways in college.
well, I
So,
mean, I do like to make
Trevor, is there anything that you want to tell Cocktails and Curveballs 7 listeners about yourself? About yourself.
Yeah,
'Cause
let's
we
hear it, man.
appreciate you, man. We appreciate you jumping on here, and we're glad to have you, man. We're glad to have you.
I feel I don't really have anything super special or crazy on my end. I feel like as far as sports go, like I've been a high school coach for quite a while now, but nothing spectacular. But I think where my head's been at the last couple of like weeks probably has just been strictly fantasy football, which is I'm already a nerd in and of itself, and I think I'm in 8 leagues now for no reason.
Oh, fuck, bud.
And, like 3 of them,
That's
That's
most
good.
people.
I don't
No,
even want to
that's-
beat, like 4 of them. I'm like, all right,
Right.
like sure. So, but I just got into like dynasty leagues and stuff like that for the first time these last couple of years. Like that's a very different world of fantasy football and like sports, and you got to pay more attention and stuff like that.
Have you cashed?
That's like keepers,
Have
right?
you
Right?
cashed?
Like you get to keep guys from previous years.
Yeah, and so that gets really tricky because like if you're a listener, you've never done a keeper league or like a dynasty league, like all of a sudden rookies matter, so you have to like pay attention to the draft. You got to know where people are going. It's wild. So it's been a lot more fun for me this year. I'm so pumped for the NFL to start up because again, being a Nebraska fan, I'm excited for college football, and then I'm quickly reminded why I'm not excited for college football, and so the
So how
NFL,
do you?
and that
How
fails
have
me.
you been? How have
Hey,
you been
Nebraska
doing
can pull it out, man. And maybe they'll go on a run. You don't know.
My averages suggest, man, Jesus, it'll happen. It's coming one day.
How have
These
you been
programs
doing?
always inevitably do find a way back. I mean, sometimes it just takes the right damn coach. I mean, the Buffs have been shit forever.
Sure.
And Primetime comes in and look what happened. But he brought those players, man. When you walk in and say, all right, all you players here that are on scholarship, get in the transfer portal now because you're gone. And then, but it's true though. I mean, all it takes, I mean, these programs, it's like Miami, being a Hurricanes fan sucks, man, because they have time where they get some talent and the coaches are great. And you're thinking, okay, this is going to be the year that we start to actually think about maybe doing something good, and done. And then they, like Pat said, they'll win the first 3 and then lose 6 in a row. And you're like, what the fuck is going on, man?
You just live
You know
on
what I mean?
hope, man. It's
So you said, Trevor, you said you're a high school coach? What do you coach?
So I've only coached the freshman level for the most part. I've been an assistant a couple of times for our basketball and our baseball program up here, but I'm up at Rogers High School here in Spokane. You probably know the zip about us because we are not very good at all.
I used to go to Spokane all the time for 12. I used to work for a company, FSA, Food Services of America.
Sure.
And I used to live in Missoula, Montana, and I had to go to Spokane every 6 weeks for sales meetings. Very, very familiar with that town.
Sure.
Not that particular school, but good on you because listen, man, I've coached too, and it's a tough gig. Now I did it with little kids, like Little League and stuff like that, but Pop Warner stuff. But high school level, you're getting some attitude, I would imagine.
Well, our spot is tough. Like we're in Hilliard, which is like one of the poorest incomes per capita in Washington State, and so it's a lot of low income. I get kids coming into, freshman baseball. From Tyler and I, like our experience, like we walked into baseball like prepared and ready to go. And then in this situation, I'm coming in with kids who've never played before, and so I'm teaching them how to throw. It's a very wild experience. And then every once in a while, we got 2 kids that got drafted not long ago, and it's a very unique setup there. But I love it. It's fun. Again, low expectations as far as wins go, but it's cool. It's a great time.
No, good on you for doing it, man. Good on you for doing it because
awesome. We've talked
a
about
lot of people.
it,
It's not when you're.
Go for
ahead,
it.
T.
No, I was just gonna say that we've talked about it on here before about how much coaching matters and about how having people that care in that role, especially we've talked about all the way from Little League, Pop Warner grade kids, like we've talked about it from all the way up. So it's really it's awesome to see people in positions that one, that they deserve, and that two, that help develop the youth. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is like trying to develop kids into being men, into young men.
Especially when you're talking about kids that have never played, don't even, I mean, completely lack all the fundamentals. That's tough, man. I mean, that's when a coach that continues to do that, that's when it's 100% about the kids, man. It's not about winning. You just got to throw your win-loss record out the window, it's actually, I could see how anybody would really appreciate that, because you take a lump of clay and you mold it into, something spectacular, and to be able to take these kids who have never played before and teach them from the ground zero, teach them fundamentals, teach them how to throw, everything. And I imagine every once in a while you get to see a kid like that just finally see what their calling is and develop into a really good player, man. I mean, that's got to
like
be.
Trevor said, he had a couple players that got drafted. That's freaking awesome, man. I mean, let's be real.
We've been
and that's what, as a coach, when you have, and pick a kid, when I was coaching, they have a game in particular that they do something that they didn't think they were even capable of.
Sure.
And it's one play. And it makes, when you're coaching, it makes you feel just as damn happy as that kid is, because it's a team dynamic. We're not talking like just individual stuff. You know what I mean? So no, good on you for doing it, man. And we'll have to pay attention to your school and what they do.
It's a party, man. No, I appreciate it. I think that it's been a cool experience because, again, you go in, especially as like a young coach. I think I started when I was like 20. And it was like, again, coming from high school, having all these expectations how things are, we're supposed to win. And then I'm like, nah, that ain't what it's about. Like, they're fine. Like, and the kids love it. Like you said, you get a couple of kids who get a hit for the first time ever, and they're just stoked about it. They talk about it all the way they graduate, man. It's super fun. So, no, it's a good time. I feel pretty lucky to be up here in a good spot, and I don't anticipate dipping on them anytime soon. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
that's
good
awesome.
deal.
It's great for the school to have a guy like you there, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks. I'm trying.
Yeah, and that's actually you're creating lifelong memories for these kids. And that's the one thing that I recall. I still see some kids that I coached 12 years ago-ish that come up to me when I see them and talk to me about, do you remember that game? And I'm like, no, I really don't. I was pouring beer into my empty Mountain Dew bottle because I could get away with it. I mean, let's be real. I got away with it. It worked.
And you probably were great. No, kids remember the good coaches. Like I think of the coaches I had growing up, and I think you guys were talking about last episode with Jim. Like when you got a coach that like cares enough to like figure out how you tick and like is really interested in like making sure that like I get to know you really well. I'm pretty sure this is that was last episode, right? I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's like, recent. It was in a recent one. If nothing else.
A episode. Yeah.
It wasn't an episode.
But no, I feel like kids remember that. Like, and yeah, so they'll see you however many years later, like, dude, you rocked, you were awesome, good memories. So yeah, it was cool.
No, that's outstanding. Good on you, buddy, for real.
Being up there in Spokane, Gonzaga, right? They're West Coast Conference.
Oh yeah.
How do you think?
Alignment.
What do you think? How's that going to go moving forward? West Coast Conference. There's only 2 Pac-12 teams. But they want to be the Pac-12. Those 2 teams want to keep that shit to the Pac-12 or the Pac whatever.
Man,
they're not even going to have a TV deal anymore, man.
I know, but it's Oregon State and Washington State. They want the Pac whatever, to continue to be the thing.
So with Gonzaga, I actually wrote an article about this when I was doing my sports podcasting stuff a while back. And Gonzaga is unique because since we're strictly basketball school, every time a team makes it to the NCAA tournament, they get a sum of money called a unit. And that money doesn't just go to Gonzaga. That unit of money gets distributed all throughout the entire conference. So San Diego, who won 2 games, gets the same amount of money that Gonzaga did. And that's for like any team that makes it to the tournament. So like it's St. Mary's, Gonzaga, San Francisco. If they all make it, they each get a unit and spread it down. But Gonzaga, a while back, because there's always rumors about them moving, said to the WCC, like, look, we're carrying the load here. We're in it every year guaranteed. So if you want us to stay, we need a bigger sum, or like we need a bigger amount of this money that is coming in here. And the WCC was like, yes, that's fine. Yep, stay. Stay. So I think because of that, that's what's kept GU in the WCC for as long as it has. But I mean, at some point you're going, it's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC. Like I don't think that there's any way you kind of get around that without like two giant divisions coming together and then just separating into conferences, kind of like we got for football, I think. But yeah, even with basketball, I don't know if you can keep the WCC while everyone else is.
I don't know that you can, man, because I was thinking about basketball because you say Gonzaga, and I've actually been to that university multiple times back in the day. Mark Few and what that program has become. That's what put the Zags on the map. I mean, that basketball program, and granted, you know, they're always highly ranked, they're always up there, haven't quite won it all, but you know what? I think they're gonna, and that guy he's loyal, but he's loyal. Hang on. And he's loyal and he's there. And I'm telling you, that kid or that guy is a great coach. And he had more opportunities to go elsewhere and make more money, but he stuck it out with Gonzaga. And I got to give him all the credit in the world. And man, I hope he gets that win. And then if he wants to leave and go make money, do it. But I think he's loyal. I mean, I don't know the man, obviously, and I don't live there, but always enjoy watching that program play.
So I went to GU, and I am a very diehard Zag fan. But so he got a big offer from Oregon, where he's originally from, not too long ago, saying, yeah, come over here. Turned it down, which I think it's hard to leave. I think Gonzaga, when you built the program from the ground up, kind of like he has, which
especially to go home.
Yeah, like that would be such a culture shift, I think, because he created the culture. So it's like it's his and it's his baby. It'd be hard, you know, for him to leave. And I think that it's commented like there's no reason to suggest that they're not going to have a shot. So just keep crossing fingers, man. It's gonna happen.
Well, but I think you're right. I think because he did build it from the ground up and turned it into the program that it is, where recruits are searching him out. Because before, when he got there, his recruiting is what turned that whole thing around. He got the players and he sold himself and he sold the school. And now we're sitting here looking at how amazing they are. And now people are like trying to go there. So it's actually really cool to see. And I got mad props for the guy because he hasn't left. And he could have went home. He could have taken more money, but I'm glad he didn't do it because it's just every year I root for the Zags, man. Every year. I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed too.
It's coming.
And I'm a Duke fan, so come on. I know I'm a Blue Devil fan, but
okay.
Talking about just baseball though, dude. If Oregon State, Washington State's got a pretty decent program, Gonzaga's program's pretty good. You know, they're rolling some of these California teams. On that side of it, a merger, that'd be awesome, right? Like their baseball side of that conference would be kick ass.
I'm kind of shocked. Like, I don't really know. I know that football drives everything.
Right, exactly.
But what do you do when you've got a conference full of teams that don't have football? Like, do you just remain independent, I guess? I think Gonzaga could probably pull that off because, again, they're only sending a couple of teams to tournament every year, so it's not a big deal, I guess. But I don't know. It's interesting.
I think they could pull off independent. I mean, it's going to be a stretch for the university, but, I mean, I think they could do it for sure. But again, like he said, football is the big money catalyst in everything. And baseball, absolutely, Tyler, you're 100% correct. It would be amazing. However,
Oregon State's a powerhouse, and dude, they're about to catch a short end to somebody's stick.
No, it's big time. But again, where do most of the dollars get generated?
Right.
Football.
Oregon State too. They just did such a nice addition to their football field.
Did they?
Yeah, their football stadium is a big, nice new addition. And if you don't mind me standing on my soapbox, I hope that Oregon State Beavers football is America's team this year. I hope they're gonna be fucking good. And they've been getting better and better and better and better. And now they got the rug pulled out from under them.
Who did they play in opening weekend?
They played it. This is going to come out tomorrow, so they will have played yesterday. And I expect them to kick the dog shit out of San Jose State.
Oh yeah, because I know Oregon did really good. Oregon looks really good.
Did you see the duck doing all them push-ups?
Yeah,
dude, that's too many push-ups.
You put that many points on the board, you're supposed to do that as the mascot.
Hey,
man.
that's too many goddamn push-ups.
I would be motherfucking that locker room.
Dude, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it.
good
Okay,
lord.
we're
man.
done.
I would
the
still
score
be
now.
today. I would still be today trying to do all those push-ups.
Damn.
570
pace
or something
yourself.
dude. He did like 570 something push-ups or something,
Oh
didn't
my
he? I don't know if
That
I've
was
done that
insane.
many push-ups in my life.
That's stupid.
Every
man.
college game I've been at, they do a push-up for every point that the home team scores, that their team scores. So you think about that. So he did it for a touchdown, and then 2 touchdowns is
scored,
14.
like,
And you just
81
incrementally run that up there. Those mascots have got to be in some bomb-ass shape.
I was gonna say
They
you
have
better
to be in some bomb-ass shape.
dude, you better spend 7 days in the gym, man. You better be in stupid shape to be doing all that shit. Or just don't be the mascot.
Do you think do you think the Ducks mascot, do you think he redshirted? Do you think that
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
did seriously, like,
Put him
no
on the team
bullshit.
now.
No bullshit.
I
Do you
mean,
think
maybe-
he was
I mean,
like
I mean, the head
hey,
coach-
this motherfucker right here, I've seen him do 700
Yeah.
push-ups in a day. And
I
he's
mean,
like,
the head coach-
I can only do 400. Like, I got to get my numbers up before I can even audition, right? Because that's the whole other thing too,
So
right?
you,
Like,
are you
there's
saying you
auditions,
think
right? There's got to be
he's a
auditions.
walk-on? You think he's a walk-on trying to earn a scholarship, and he's
I
just
mean,
doing
the
this
head
to
coach-
stay in shape?
I think a homeboy's heavily recruited. I don't think he's a
Four-star
walk-on,
prospect.
dude. I think he's full scholarship.
If not before, then after he did all his push-ups, the head coach is looking over like, damn, my starting safety just went down. So
Yeah.
maybe, like,
Yeah,
you know.
quack, quack.
Bring
dude,
in
get
the duck.
fuck in there.
Bring in the duck.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
dude,
like, I kind of need a safety.
Water boy style.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
He's 6'1", 185. He could probably be my safety. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh
speaking
shit!
Speaking of wild mascot feats, I forget what the school is. It's a basketball school where their logo's a bird. They're a smaller school, but their mascot gets a full ride sports athletic scholarship because what they have to do every single game for the entire game, they flap their wings.
oh my
Oh,
god.
get out.
It's got to be. I mean, it's not like a big like
What?
outfit or anything. They just have wings on or whatever. But and
And
then
it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you got to do that the entire
Bruce?
fucking game,
Oh.
dude.
So yeah,
Dude,
they
and
make
what
it
do you
down.
tell-
Kind of like back in the day when
What do
Pat,
your
or
what
when
do your delts?
Pat was
what
doing
do your delts
directional
and traps look
advertising.
Like? I bet you got some amazing delts and traps, man. Jesus. I mean, like, good God.
Dude,
I
could
feel
you
like you
imagine
could do it though,
instead of trying to get a kid on like an athletic scholarship or an academic scholarship, you're like, no, you little motherfucker, stand here and do this. Stand
my
here and do
God.
this. Hours
8
and hours,
hours.
right? Though, like, if you're like, my kid's fucking dumb. He's pretty dumb. My kid is not athletic. But if I just got him standing for 3 hours a day, and then you start incrementally like more weights, and you're like, no, dude, you roll this kid out. So then you roll this kid out in like 7th grade, dude. He's got an offer in like as a middle schooler from this school that Trevor's talking
got
about,
pop-
right? And you're
fucking
like, hey,
Popeye
no, dude,
arms,
for the next
Popeye
4
arms.
years, maybe we'll get him into a master's, doctorate, dude. Maybe we could have this kid for the next 6, 7, 8
Hey,
years,
I'll tell you one
Jesus.
thing.
fully paid.
Years ago,
fully paid.
years ago, and this is so back in the day for the Montana Grizzlies in Missoula. Our mascot was Monty. He was a bear, obviously. And the guy that was the mascot, I think his name was Barry, if I remember correctly. He won like a national.
That's a made up ass name.
No, it's not. No, this is a true fucking story.
Barry the
and
bear.
Honestly, no, the
I'm just
the
kidding.
bear's
I'm
name is
kidding.
Monty.
I
No,
know.
but the guy in the suit. But anyway, he won like National Mascot of the Year. It's like an actual like challenge. It's a thing. He actually got pulled away by the Chicago Bulls to be their mascot, to be Benny the Bull, to be Benny the Bull out of Missoula, Montana. I swear to God. And he was making bank as Benny the Bull. So hey, Mr. Duck over in Oregon, you wanna aspire to some money? Let's get you to a professional.
But don't you
team.
feel-
Is that is that a thing? Do you think there's somebody out there right now that just went, I just lost my fucking job to that fucking Oregon Duck, right? Do you think there's somebody out there right now, whoever the Kings mascot is, right now just went, man, fuck. I gotta start doing some push-ups or some shit.
I feel like you got to know somebody, man. I feel like to get that job, it's more I just refuse to believe 500 people are putting in applications and shit. I don't buy that. I feel like it's like the owner knows, his next door neighbor or some shit like that, man.
There's like,
are you pushing yourself to the absolute fucking max though? If you're that kid, dude, that's a lot of push-ups. Like, that's no bullshit. Like, that's a lot of fucking push-ups, dude.
A lot.
In 3 hours, in 2.5, 3 hours. And especially, are you praying on the fucking sideline like, don't be a pick six. No pick six.
They are.
Dude, I just did
touchdown.
70 fucking push-ups.
They are.
They got 77.
Yeah.
They gotta be.
Hey, it happens.
Dude,
Hey, boys.
feel like
Couple things. Yeah, again, Trevor, thank you very, very much for hopping on with us, man.
Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate what you're doing too as a coach, and good on you, and I hope you succeed. We got to get to some curtain calls, boys, because I guarantee you there's going to be some fun things we want to talk about there, and I'm going to pick one. Anybody got one? Pick it, and let's talk about it. You got one, Pat?
I'll just go with the obvious, man. Coach Prime. I love so maybe a more humble coach post game would be not as not as reminding as Dion is telling the whole world, I'm keeping receipts. I love that he did that. I love that he got there and said, I'm keeping receipts, man. I'm guilty too. I wagged my finger in his face in the offseason, like, okay, maybe they're a little bit better, but come on. Really? You guys won one game last year. So to see his team perform the way they did yesterday, it couldn't happen to a better guy, him being up there in a press conference, letting the whole world know, yeah. What? Tell me again. What? Tell me again. I love it, man. So
he talked a lot of smack.
Yep. And it couldn't have. You know what? If there's anybody that I would love to see talk shit in this same exact situation, Dion 100 times out of 100 times, man. So good for him. It's exciting. It's going to be very interesting going forward to see how that Colorado team evolves. So curtain call to Dion. Well done, man.
Yeah. Cheers to you.
You got something, Tyler?
Dude, mine goes out to the Mascots. I never took until we just started talking on it right now, dude. I didn't realize like
they got to be really warm, right? Right? They got to be
potentially
really warm.
what it takes for those guys, dude, or women, guys and girls. I didn't mean guys. I just meant people when I say guys.
You're so PC. I dig that. Nice catch.
That's crazy though. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know that I could do 600 push-ups in a week. I'm not even fucking kidding either.
Listen, I look at those mascots.
30 days.
It's on TV. I look at the outfit and I almost start sweating. I can't imagine doing push-ups in those fucking things. Are you serious?
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. What is that? Like frying an egg in your fucking left boot or something? That's got to be warm in them fucking things. Good God.
No, so my son Brandon, when he played for Tech over in Butte, he told me that he had to be the mascot once, and he goes, that damn outfit stinks so bad. They pull different players to cover an event, like go to a school, as the mascot. And he said, I had to do it once. He goes, that thing stinks so bad, and it is so hot. So you're not wrong.
Pass.
Good call. I'll cheers that too. Trevor, you got anything you want to do a curtain call or a
I got
out too?
Maybe kind of a wild card, but maybe it's just because when it comes to college football now, I'm just in sympathy mode for anyone who's down bad or anything. But Northwestern's coach David Braun just came out and he had to do a big press conference about I worked really hard to get the guys all together, make sure we're rebonding and doing it appropriately after all the scandal that happened for them this year. So they're just gonna get. I think they're just gonna get wrecked all year long, and so I'm just like, man, you need a beer, I'll drink for you. Like,
Yeah, it's like blood in the water, man. Piranhas are out, dude. Piranhas are out.
I
Oof.
just checked. They're down 2 scores to Rutgers already. I'm just like, oh,
Oh.
buddy.
Oh boy,
they
oh,
can-
no way.
yeah,
Heart goes out for
man.
you, man.
Oh, that's rough.
Okay, so my curtain calls and there's only one major reason for this. It's not because I'm a big Miguel Cabrera fan. It's because I really never ever liked George Brett. He just got his 3,155th hit, and he went ahead of George Brett at number 17 all time. And I hated George Brett. I hated the Royals back then. I hated everything about him. So my curtain call, good on you, Miggy. Thank you for knocking George Brett down a notch. So somebody did it again. But anyway, gentlemen, hey, and Trevor, again, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed your time with us. We sure enjoyed having you.
Always.
But until next time, boys, let's cheers it out
Yeah,
to
man.
our curtain
Cheers.
calls. Cheers.
Guys.